The security of the familiar is easily breached, leaving one to question the very ground beneath their feet. Welcome to the Charon Files. The stories you are about to hear are testimonies from living witnesses of what moves beyond understanding, of what refuses to be explained. Each of them stood at the edge of what is known and looked into what lies beyond it. My name is Charon, Ferryman of the Dead, the one who waits at that edge. What follows is what they brought back. May they prepare you for your own future encounters. There are moments when the fabric of what one understands to be true becomes transparent, allowing glimpses of something far more complex. It is in these instances that the expected order of things dissolves, revealing a reality not quite aligned with our perceptions. A familiar threshold may admit a stranger, or a loved one long departed may return with words that resonate with unspoken truths. These are not merely coincidences or tricks of the mind. These accounts of vanishing spaces and echoing sounds are not anomalies but symptoms. A persistent, almost geological pressure is being applied to the stability of our perceived reality, manifesting as these small, disorienting shifts. Clara from Norfolk, Nebraska, recounts a disorienting incident where her usually locked home was entered by a stranger who believed he was in a different residence.
I live in a pretty safe neighborhood and usually always lock my doors. Last night, I apparently didn't. It was not too long after I had taken my dogs out for the last time and was turning off the television and lights when one of my dogs started growling. Not too weird, since he sometimes does that when people walk by the house. He only does it to certain people, not everyone. I then heard the front door open and someone walk in. My dog then started barking. My other dog, who loves all people, came running from the other room to greet our guest. At the same time, I was reacting to what was happening and went, "What the fuck? Who are you?" Standing in the hall was a guy in his mid to late 20s. He was skinny and tall. Oh wait, I don't think I'm in the right place. He genuinely seemed confused. I replied with, "Hell no you aren't. Please get out." He apologized and said he was coming to hang out with a friend and just accidentally went to the wrong place. I asked him what house he was looking for, and he said a number that was just a few couple numbers off from mine. He apologized again and left. He seemed nice and non-threatening, but I was still kind of spooked. This morning I was ready to laugh the whole thing off. I was planning on telling my neighbor, a couple in their 30s, what happened. I don't know them all too well, but we have talked before. Luckily, I caught with one of them when I was taking my dogs out. I didn't want to come off like I was mad or scared over what happened, so I casually said, "I'm sure he told you about it, but your friend paid me a surprise visit last night." My neighbor gave me this confused look and said, "What are you talking about?" "Your friend. He walked into my house last night, thinking it was your place." My neighbor was quiet for a second and then said, "We didn't have a friend over last night."
In Park Hills, Missouri, Susan's mother experienced a visitation from her deceased husband, who delivered messages about their children that only he could have known.
My dad passed away 4 years ago, and my mom had this experience about 7 or 8 months ago. She told me that one night she woke up because she felt like someone was gently shaking her. She also felt what she described as a continuous touch or caress on her face. When she opened her eyes, she was in her bedroom, in her bed, and she saw my dad standing there. She asked him what he was doing there, and he made a gesture for her to be quiet. That's when she realized who she was looking at. He then asked how she was doing and asked about his children. She told him that we were doing well. Then he said something that honestly shocked me when my mom told me about it later. He said that I was struggling with myself and trying to become a better version of myself. The strange thing is that this is exactly what I've been going through. I've been dealing with a lot internally, trying to change, grow, and become a better person. I never talked to my mom about any of this because I didn't want to worry her. My dad also mentioned my brother. He told my mom to remind him about a conversation they had on a balcony before my dad died, and to remember the promise my brother made to him. What makes this even stranger is that this conversation really happened. My dad and my brother did have a private talk on a balcony before my father passed away, and my brother did make a promise to him. To be honest, I don't think my brother has truly kept that promise. He needs help, and hearing that specific message from my dad hit hard.
The profound bond Amelia shared with her older brother in Sturgis, South Dakota, was irrevocably altered by a posthumous revelation in his suicide note.
So I loved my brother. He was 7 years older than me. I had 2 older brothers, and the one closer to my age used to pick on me. But my oldest brother would always stand up for me and defend me. Our father wasn't around, and our mother was usually too busy to care for us, so my brother was often the one at home taking care of us. He taught me to ride a bike, he taught me how to cook, we used to watch movies together, he introduced me to anime, he taught me to throw a punch and defend myself. He was a black belt in MMA. He bought my friends and I our first bottle of alcohol and stayed home with us to make sure we paced ourselves and were safe. He came to my plays and dance recitals, he used to play guitar while I sang. He used to take me to school and pick me up, he taught me to drive, and if I was ever at a party and was too drunk or felt unsafe, I could call him and he would ride to my rescue. He was my hero, I loved him. He was also severely depressed and dealt with feelings of inadequacy and failure. He killed himself when he was 32. In his suicide note, he mentioned being transgender, which no one knew about. It was devastating to me to lose him. I used to have dreams where he would tell me he was okay and not to be sad. If I ever felt like I needed his advice, I would have a dream visit from him. These dreams became an immense source of comfort. About 4 years ago, I got the last of these dream visits. I didn't know it then, but I was a few weeks pregnant with my first child. He told me we would see each other very soon. 8 months later, I welcomed my daughter into the world. On his birthday, I named her after him. 2 years ago, she started speaking, and one day she was sitting on my lap while I was scrolling through my brother's old Facebook page looking at pictures of him. She pointed at his picture and said, "That's me, remember when I was your brother, Mommy?" The hair on the back of my neck stood up. I started questioning her, and she started telling me about things she could never have known, how he taught me to ride a bike and drive and all sorts of other things. I called up our other brother and told him about what she was saying. He came to visit, and sure enough, she recognized him. It was the first time they had met and recalled things about their relationship as well. One day when it was just the two of us, she said she was much happier now as a girl. For years I had felt like my brother abandoned me. I want to believe he never did. I want to believe he was always with me and chose me to give him the life he had always wanted. Is this just wishful thinking?
These testimonies reveal how easily the familiar can be pierced by the unknown, demonstrating that the echoes of unseen realities resonate within the most personal spaces. The names of the witnesses have been changed to maintain anonymity. If what you have heard tonight mirrors something you have experienced, leave your story in a comment below and we will include it in a future episode. Don't forget to subscribe. You wouldn't want to miss the next episode of the Charon Files.